Can you tell us how you became a resource foster home?
Yes, I can. It's funny because me and my wife uh, couldn't have any children,
Mm-hmm.
so my wife kept seeing ads from Jackie Johnson on Facebook about becoming resource parents and making a difference. And one thing with me is that I as well I was a coach, and so I kind of built in with the community and helped out with football, baseball, soccer. So being a resource parent was a little different, but we just seen it as a challenge for us and something to help out the community and improve the welfare of other children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that's great. So you went from coaching children on the field, in essence, to now taking children in the home, working with them, working with their parents, and coaching their parents, in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Oh, I think that's great. When did you first learn about the PPE service that's offered with kids and families together?
Honestly, throughout the training itself, um, we were hearing about if we were interested in a PPE, then we would get one. I know we were appointed one. We didn't know who it was,
Mm-hmm.
obviously at first, and our mindset was like, I think we're okay, we're fine, we're okay. And then when you called, it was like, oh, we have a PPE. At least we know who it is now. So fast forward all that. When we found out about the resources is when we were like, oh, we don't have a crib, or oh, we don't have a diapers. What do we do? And that's when we called you. But again, it's like it obviously looks like the resources that we've had there and you've given us, it really has helped us.
Yay, I'm so happy. I do remember our first encounter when you and your wife were currently taking the classes to get your license, and that was a very long time ago. And I'm not even sure if you remember that moment, but you guys just seemed just so eager to soak up all the information. You were just like taking all the information that was being explained in. You'd ask questions. I saw you with a notebook. I saw her with a notebook. So I just thought this is really good. These people are really here to learn, to get educate themselves, to see how they can grasp the techniques and tools in order to move forward with becoming a resource home.
And mind you, I was a nervous wreck. My wife was really enthusiastic about it. She wanted to come do this. Even though I kind of put on a smile and tried to fake it as make it as you want to say, I was a nervous wreck inside. I was trying to figure out what do we do? How does this go? And seeing that many people in the class wanting to take it, especially here at Kids and Families,
Mm-hmm.
it was an uplifting experience because it was you rarely don't see that, especially in Ventura County.
Yeah, it's nice that there is a community of resource parents and kids and families really here to try to help support in any way we can resource parents, bio parents, and just offer whatever services that we can that's going to make the process easier while caring for kids.
A whole lot easier.
Yeah.
I think to me it was because of you being who you are, um, really made us a lot more comfortable and a lot more open and receptive to a lot of things that you've had to say. Um, and the thing is that even with my wife, there's times where she's like, "Stop bugging her. She's busy." And it's like, "Yeah, but I don't get this. What do we do?" And it's like the panic button's there, but it's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna call and find out because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And again, we there's a lot of things that we don't know, and a lot of our families that we've had, and has allowed them to actually benefit from a lot of the resources that you have given us for them.
Oh, thank you. I know I try to always just start off with letting you know and letting anybody know, like, there is no stupid question. There's not a dumb question. If you have a question, you don't know the answer, call and ask, and I will try to be the person to answer it. And if I can't, I will find out that answer for you, instead of you feeling like you're in the dark, you don't know what to do, you're not sure who to call or how to handle a situation. So that's why I just try to really make myself available for my families, is because I know you're not just calling just because you need another set of diapers or something like that. Your child has outgrown their playpen and now they need the next thing. I know it's more than that.
Yeah. And the one thing with me and my wife, actually, really thank you, because like I said, it's if it wasn't for kids and families having these PPEs, families would be lost. Families would definitely be lost and try to figure out things on their own. And it goes back to the whole thing of feeling hopeless at times. So kids and families having these programs really, really definitely works.
Oh, that's great. I am a firm believer of that too. And I think, you being receptive, you and your wife being very receptive to listening, new ideas, new techniques, approaching things from a different angle and seeing things from a different lens, helps you guys be able to work and co-parent with the biological parents as they're working on reunification.
Exactly.
And I think it's great that pretty much all of the kiddos you have cared for have been reunified, and I think that's really, really huge, because that says you guys are doing your part in co-parenting with them instead of judging and making assumptions and giving them a hard time for whatever reason that they came into this situation.
Yeah. I mean, we try. We're not perfect. I'll tell you that off the bat. 100%. Me and my wife try to do everything we can in our willpower to try to accommodate families. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that I feel myself, and this is just how I feel strongly, is that we try to make it feel like they're actual human beings instead of numbers or statistics. And the first time they usually meet us, it's like, well, you have my child. And it's like, no, slow down, relax. We're here to help you. We're here to support you in whatever way we can. And sometimes they sometimes they are standoffish. But the minute they see that we have their best interests at heart, they kind of back off. In one instance, we have had one case where, dad was just kind of standoffish, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to feel at first, recently coming out of jail, going into a program. I knew he was determined. He wanted his son back. And this was during pre-COVID that there was no case aids at all. And our social worker called us and be like, hey, you know what? There's no case aids. We don't know what to do. Can you fill in? And this was about a good 3-4 months that we filled in for the case aids and actually tried to build that relationship. And I think that's where that relationship now, even now, I mean, we're really close. Even his son is our godson.
That's great. So essentially, you stepped up to facilitate visitations between the child and the baby?
That is correct. My wife took the visitations with the mom, and I took visitations with dad. At first, it wasn't that easy. We did have to jump through little obstacles to try to get through to get the okay. But the minute we got the okay, and mind you, case aids, well, I can say just the case itself, usually visits take about an hour 15, hour 20 maybe. We were, at least myself with the dad, I was there for close to 4 or 5 hours. And that's just the bond building with the son, with his son, and getting to know who his son was and getting to know the habits. there's one thing that I've always stood by. Even coaching, I can only coach to so much.
Mm-hmm.
Then once the minute teach you what I know, it's all up to you now. I'm not gonna be on the field holding your hand. I'm not gonna be at the plate trying to help you bat. It's all up to you, and I take that mentality onto a lot of the fathers too, because they sometimes they look like they're scared, and it just takes that little push to kind of like, okay, you can do it. You just gotta know how to do it and what resources to use.
Yeah. And I think it's excellent that you take that approach, because it's as if you are mentoring them. So now they're getting a little bit of a mentor for you. They see what kind of person you are. They know their child is in good care, and they're really getting to know you on a personal level.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the biggest thing was more my wife. I gotta give a lot of credit to my wife because she literally pushed me and engaged me to actually doing what we do now, because there's times where I was standoffish and I really didn't want anything to do with any of them, but my wife is like, hey, look, it's not about us right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's about them, and taking that role and how she mentored me, if you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
because it's funny saying that like that, but it's true, because it's like my mindset was I'm just gonna teach and that's how I'm gonna do it,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife is like, you have to take your standoffish ways and put some feeling, have some type of heart. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that my wife had a lot to do with me trying to open up to a lot of people. That's why now we are who we are now 3 years later,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact of this. My wife was basically the glue to all this.
Well, I'm glad that Jackie has an excellent amount of glue in her. I think she's done a great job in being a resource home, but also encouraging you to keep doing this, because some of the situations that arise are not easy. There's always unforeseen things, unforeseen circumstances that call, that can definitely be a damper, or sometimes question, wait, why are we doing this again? Can we do this? Are we qualified to do this? How are we going to get through this? How can we help this parent through this situation? What are we going to do? And I think it's great that you guys bounce ideas off of each other, and then if it's like, I'm not sure, I don't know what to do, you guys have never hesitated to call and ask, hey, Alex, this is what's going on. What do you think? What are your thoughts? How should we approach this? What will we do next? What are the next steps? What do we need to do?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, especially in that instance, because there was an instance with one of our cases that I was like, Lord, what do we do? What do we do? I don't. We wanted to throw. Well, at least myself. I'm gonna speak for myself, because my wife, again, is a whole different story. I was like, you know what? I there's times where I admit it. I was like, we're done. I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this. But it was, again, my wife standing in and basically being the glue she is to keep us together, because if it was just me and I made that hasty decision to let go of this child because of certain circumstances that she's had, then I don't know where she would have ended up now, or what family she would have gone, or how mom would have felt about that. But because my wife was like, no, I'm going to take this challenge, I'm going to take it head on, that's why our characters are a lot stronger, because it wasn't easy. And calling, like I said, calling you, calling other people, calling therapists, asking questions, again, like you said, asking the one question that you don't ask, it's times that it just gets thrown under the rug. And sometimes us asking that question is critical for maybe this child. And thank God now she reunified with mom, and she's going through her progress. Mom is going through her programs, moving on to bigger things. Baby is growing really healthy. Imagine if we would have just let it go.
Yeah.
So a lot of people view from the outside as foster care as being something where I'm going to take this child in, it's going to become my child, I'm going to adopt it, and life goes on. What you're talking about is kids knowing that it's a very short term with you. You're creating this bond, and then you're releasing them. How do you cope with that?
It's easy because it goes back to the whole fact of the way we were taught. Again, Alex, other people, my wife, that have gone and set that stage to where it's like, we know it's not ours. We know it's not ours, and we know that for a fact that we have to give the child back. So, again, it goes back to the whole thing of building the relationship. Our mindset, again, at the beginning was, I wanted to adopt. I wanted this. We wanted this. We wanted that. And we went from wanting to adopt to actually adapting to where we're at now, and 3 years later, and the thing is that, again, the child's not ours. But we know for a fact, and every child that comes in, every call that we get, a lot of people think, oh, this is just another child. No, this is our family. And we've took it in like that. We based it as the next child that comes in is not just a child, it's he's family now. He or she is family. And mom and dad are family.
How, if people are considering doing this, how would you recommend that they get started, or even to learn whether or not it's something that's right for them?
I would say take the leap. But don't set your standards too high. And reason being is, we're looking at it as, again, in my case, a lot of us want to look as adoption. And there's resources out there. Again, Facebook, Instagram, all these things, they promote the actual resource parent and becoming one. But the fact is that you want to make sure that when you come in, you have an open heart, you have an open mind, and be receptive to a lot of the things that the instructors give you, that the book is giving you. But I think one of the main things is, once that class is over, the minute you step out that door, then real life hits. And I think that's where, for us, that's where we kind of had to build our own character. Because the minute we got out of that classroom and we got that certificate and said, congratulations, you're done, real world hit. And you're gonna get a call at 2 a.m. You'll get a call at 1. You'll get a call at 3. And you gotta respond. And it's the way you respond to it. A lot of people could respond totally different ways, And at least for us, me, my wife, and I, every time a challenge like that has come, we've answered it. And we've answered it above and beyond. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that taking care of a child, no matter what age it is, it's a tough thing to do because it's not yours, but at the same time, you treat them like it's yours, like he's yours or she is yours, and love them like he is yours or she is yours. And yeah, you're gonna get an emotional attachment. You're gonna get a bond. But again, if you treat it like family instead of a statistic or just another child, then my wife and I are firm believers that it's gonna come back tenfold. You know, you're not just going to get the child for the rest of your life. You're going to get the whole family.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's great that you guys have done that, because in your case, you do get the whole family. Some of these parents might not have family. Maybe they did not have the best role models. Some of them did not have somebody to show them how to be a parent. So now being a parent, they're learning that from you. They're learning that from you and Jackie. What do I do? How do I give them a bath?
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of, you kind of hit everything on the nail, because it's a fact of when you see the parent, at times they're hesitant about what's going on, and it's not about their child. It's more about how are these people gonna view me, or how these people gonna judge me. And the thing is that that's the one thing we tell them off the bat. My wife, again, is the biggest supporter of every mother that's out there. I don't think there's a bigger supporter that I've ever seen for mothers, an advocator for mothers, because of the fact of how she does it. If you see my wife at work, and I'm just going to use this illustration, it's like LeBron James or Magic Johnson doing their craft on how things work. It's like, how do you do this? The mentality of how someone does their craft, doesn't matter what it is. When you see my wife in that zone, you can't shut it off. It's just, it's like a button. The minute that comes on, you got mommy mode, and mommy mode doesn't come off till she's done. And it's the same thing with me. It's the minute our craft kicks in, it's like you can't get us out of that. And a lot of people are like, well, relax, chill, breathe. It's like, no, if I don't got an answer, if we don't got an answer, then we're going to figure this out. It can be 10, 12, 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, and I'm laying in bed like, what do I do? Well, what? And there's times where my wife's like, relax. I'm like, I can't. But again, it just goes back to the whole thing that the parents know that when they come to us, they're not coming to us as just normal individuals. They're coming to us as family. They're coming to us broken. Again, my wife and I, and this is just not to get into big details, but we both come from broken lives. And that's not to say that you put two broken people together, you can't get a dynamic thing. And I've noticed that the strengths she has maybe aren't mine, and the strengths I got aren't hers. But yet, you put us together, and God knows what we can do. Who can stop us?
You're the perfect balance.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
and I think that's great. I mean, it's not that often that happens. I really, really love that. Before you guys kick in your superstar mode, your LeBron and Mrs. LeBron here, I love that for those comfort calls, when you guys first meet the parents, that there is no judgment. You don't know whatever the history is, or you're not judging them based on some incident report or some old whatever has happened to them or that sort of thing. And I think that's really important and helps them create that bond with you. You're building trust, and it's essential first building blocks. And it's like, if I get a new client, before pre-COVID, we would do a meet and greet in-home, in person, or I'd meet somebody out in the field. And what would happen is I'd call them up and I'd say, hi, my name is Alex and I'm your PPE with kids and families. And, oh great, another social worker. That's usually the response I would get. And I'd say, no, I'm not a social worker. I'm here as your parent partner. I'm here to help you during this journey. Well, I don't need any help. I don't need anything from you. Oh, okay. Well, how about your child? How's this? How's everything going? Well, it's really been a nightmare. And I said, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. You know, are you willing to maybe meet with me over a cup of tea or a cup of coffee? Maybe we can just kind of see what's going on. Maybe we can help minimize some of these feelings that you're feeling or whatever you're experiencing. I said, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to judge your family member. You know, I'm not here to judge your house. I don't care if you have a sink full of dishes and 2 loads of laundry that you have not folded that's still sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm not there for that. I'm not there to check how clean your house. I'm there for you. I want to be there for you because I know what it's like and I know it's not easy. Some days are good, some days not so good. And there's a lot of days where it's just needing that listening ear and somebody to just validate, oh, you do know what it feels like. I don't have to let all of my baggage out and feel like a crazy person or feel like, great, now you're going to judge me because I've just told you some of my deep, dark secrets.